Good evening and welcome to our evening webinar on how Twinkl's resources can help you. So thank you for joining us. Do let us know in the chat. So the chat should be open if you're watching on Facebook and if you're watching on YouTube. So do feel free to introduce yourself in the comments if you would like. You don't have to. This webinar really is about you. So the chat is open also for you guys to ask any questions so that we can be as helpful as possible. So if you're new around here and you don't know who I am, my name is Chrissy and I am one of the other video content creators along with Kirsty, who you may have seen earlier on in the week. So the first thing I thought we'd play while we're waiting for people to join is a little game and looking at which of these things that you have to. Now we've got some problems on the thing today. Why is this not working? Do you know what? We've had a bit of a holiday, obviously over the weekend, over the summer, and things don't seem to be working. Bear with me. Why is that not working? Oh dear. Well, this looks, let's try again. Nope, that's not working. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop the share from my end. So bear with me because you can't even see what I'm supposed to be doing. But hi, Beth from North Yorkshire, who started home editing last Easter, and Angeline, and I can see some other hellos as well in the chat. So hello to you guys too. Let's just have another try with the technology. It always goes wrong when you don't want it to go wrong, doesn't it? So hopefully this should work. I'm going to do my fingers crossed and say I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't work. Oh dear. What is it that's wrong? Here. Evening, Kirsty, and yeah, everybody else. There's lots of us joining us. I have no idea why I can't get this to work. So please bear with me. Let's try again. Oh dear. Yeah, the tech does always go wrong when you don't want it to. I don't understand. I used to do like 4 lives. We used to do 4 lives a week. I really don't understand why it's not working. It says it's working. Right. Let's just load the whole thing up again. I'm very sorry. If not, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Oh man, why is it not working? Okay, so basically what I am going to do is I'm going to restart my computer as the only thing I can think of. So my phone, we were going to play a game, but we can still play the game. And the game is, which of these do you legally have to provide? So we're all home educating, but what do we actually have to legally provide as home educators? So I'm going to restart my computer. And hopefully that's going to help. And if it doesn't, then I'll just, I don't know what to do. Yeah, what do we legally have to provide as home educators? What do you think? What do we legally have to provide? So that's what I was going to think about, because I think this is the real key when you start home educating, or if you've been home educating for a little bit, what is it that we have to provide? So do we have to provide trips out? I was seeing this question in a chat recently about whether or not you have to take your young people on school trips, but on home ed trips was a big question, which you don't. But what is it? So Yorkshire Home Ed. So welcome, Beth. And you've either got Yorkshire Home Ed as your tag from YouTube. So full-time education to the ability and development of the child. Anybody else got any other ideas? So one of the questions I got through for this webinar was about assessment. So do we have to assess our children? Do we have to follow GCSEs for our children? Do we have to, we obviously said we don't have to go on trips. What is it that we actually have to do? So my laptop is loading up as we speak. So I think we've all kind of worked it out. So it is a suitable education. That is actually the phrase, a suitable education. So legally, we have to create a suitable education. But what that looks like, obviously, is entirely up to us. So a suitable education is entirely up to us. Obviously, we have to do something with our children, but that is what we have to provide, a suitable education. And so therefore, because of that, lots of people sort of don't realise that that's all that's what we have to provide. They think that we still have to provide all these other things that are there. Yeah, so mandatory maths and English, that's really not what it says. It says a suitable education. I don't know what is wrong with this computer. Why is it doing this? It's such a pest. Let's have a look and see if I can do it this way. Oh dear. But yeah, mandatory, you don't actually have to do mandatory maths and English. I mean, obviously most people would, because we want to prepare our young people for what we want them for their next stages, but it is just a suitable education. So I'm hoping this is going to work. Is it loading? Is it processing? Oh dear. Right, I think I've got it. Right. I'm hoping. Is it working? Right, here we go. So I think possibly the various sort of things that we're going to look at, we might not get to work, but hopefully it will work. But yeah, a suitable education. So one of the things we get lots is, well, how can you home educate your young person when you don't have any teaching qualifications? Have you heard about that? Have you heard that? How are you going to socialise your young person if they're not at school? And I think people often forget that actually socialisation at school is very typical to a school environment. It's not actually really socialisation. And lots of people think you obviously have to assess and mark, have dedicated places to teach. And back to this mandatory subjects, lots of people think it needs to be broad and look at lots of things, but actually the law says a suitable education is what is required, which lots of people find quite unusual. So because of that, there's lots of different approaches to home ed. It might be that you decide to follow quite a structured approach. So some young people like really structured approaches. So a timetable, adherence to a curriculum, or maybe semi-structured. So it might be for maths and English that it's semi-structured. Lots of people approach home ed by doing nature studies, so weaving the curriculum, weaving English and maths and reading and all those things through nature studies. And also there is young people who take an autonomous approach to their learning, so placing the child's interest at the centre of the learning approach. And being really child-led. You might hear the word unschooling being used. You sometimes also hear, which is why I've got it on this chat, the concept of deschooling, which is often a period of relaxation and resetting immediately after you've deregistered. And the reason I talk about this is because local authorities don't tend to accept or like you talking about deschooling. So when you are contacted, if you're contacted quite soon after you've deregistered, it's worth keeping in mind that you can still be very child-led, but they don't seem to, a lot of local authorities don't seem to like that phrase, but it's always worth checking in with your local home ed, because we've moved counties, and this county that we're in now is far more open to home ed than the county I moved from, which were always overstepping the line. So what I thought we would do, I asked you to get some paper, and I thought if I said to you with that paper, could you make me a dragon bookmark? And I just want you to look at that piece of paper and think, if you were asked to make a dragon bookmark, and how would you find it best with regards to making that dragon bookmark? So this is an example of a dragon bookmark. So we'd be looking at an example sort of help, would having written instructions, help, would having picture instructions, help, or maybe working with a group, so working with you and your young person, or working with a friend or a sibling, with somebody showing you how to do it. Would that work? Or would having a video to follow, how would that work? So if you have that piece of paper, and I ask you to grab a piece of paper just in case you wanted to write notes, but also because it can sometimes feel a bit daunting, can't it, when you're being told to do something. So you might be saying, right, today we're going to learn about fronted adverbials, or today we're going to look at the life cycle of a frog, and you think, oh my goodness, what are we actually going to do? And so I thought, if I said to you, right, today we're going to, I thought it'd be really good to make a dragon bookmark. Off you go, and you're staring at that blank piece of paper. Actually, that's quite daunting. So how do you learn best? Because that's how you're asked to provide a suitable education, but how do you particularly learn best? So for me, if it was something that was visual, I always need someone to show me, because my visual learning is quite poor. My sort of, if I read something, I can't visualize it. But it's worth thinking about that. And I think, this suitable education is about thinking, how does your young person learn best? Because particularly if they've been at school, you have very much this idea of what school is like. Probably you've been to school yourself. And actually, because of the constraints of a classroom, and you've got so many young people there, you tend to have lots of young people sitting at desks writing. And home ed, you can do lots of different ways. So how do you actually learn best? You can share in the chat how you learn best. But actually, it might be that working independently on your own, working through a list of tasks or questions in a solitary way is the way that you learn best. Actually, you might not find starting a task difficult. You might not find it intimidating having that blank piece of paper and wondering what on earth you're supposed to do with it. But you may be, and lots of young people are, particularly young people who are dyslexic, work really well physically and kinesthetically, so using lots of multi-sensory ways of learning, so using their hands and bodies whilst they are learning. And that is a real key. You often find that lots of young people, if they physically are doing things, or they are learning, they're reading whilst using their hands or bodies, that actually that learning is far greater. You might have young people that learn quite socially. They actually like to learn as part of a group and like to do things as part of a group. So if you've got a home ed group near you, I always recommend you joining a local Facebook group. You know, you might have a science group, for example, and your young people might learn like learning socially. It might be that you need things visually. So actually, rather than big bits of text or lots of instructions, actually drawing. So drawing your learning. My youngest definitely is a visual learner, and looking at things visually. Talking about verbally, talking about things, learning experiences that need to be talked about. This is definitely how my eldest learns. So he learns very much through conversation. So I would always say our best home ed learning experiences happen in the car when we're driving somewhere, because they'll ask a really random question and he learns definitely by verbally just, you know, chatting and talking about things. Or auditory, sound, rhythm, tapping out things. So if you've got little ones and you're doing things like phonics, that's the way you're going with teaching them how to read. Tapping or making rhythms up is another way that lots of young people learn really well, or probably a combination of the above. So lots of multi-sensory opportunities. And the reason for this webinar is obviously to talk about how Twinkl can help you with home educating your young person. And also the time of day is a really big one as well. So, you know, you might find your young person works really well in the morning, but they might actually work really well in the evening. And again, with you know, being home educated, we can take those moments as they come. So I think that's hopefully you know, made you start to think about how you home educate your young person. So not feeling that you have to buy every single curriculum that you find, that you have to spend lots of money, that you know, you might worry about having to go back to basics if your young person's come out and you know, really misunderstood or mislearned things at school. Having fun and playing and thinking about how home ed can be so much more than a classroom type environment. And so that's what this webinar is about, how we at Twinkl can help you with all of these great learning experiences and to produce that learning for your young person that is multisensory and exciting and helps them learn in the best possible way. So how can we help at Twinkl? So the first thing to say about Twinkl is it's been growing for 15 years. It began as a teaching resource site, but it's now a global digital educational publisher. And so obviously I work as part of the home ed team because we have different teams to serve customer needs. We have on site probably now far more than 900,000, but that's at the last count. But it's a really big one that it's not just worksheets. And so hopefully today, do throw as many questions as you like at me, because I'm really here to help you kind of work together with Twinkl on how to make home ed as exciting and supportive as possible. So lots of you saying my youngest learns more in the car. Yeah, mine too. Being a practical learner, somebody shares, Amanda, thank you. So practical things have more of an impact. Videos work better, says Kirsty. I actually find video just like quite stressful because they go quite quickly. So if I look at a YouTube video, it's funny how we all learn differently. And Kelly was saying about how her young people like to learn, work in the evening. sitting in the garden around a fire pit. That sounds awesome. And the thing to say about Twinkl is that it's not just worksheets. And whenever I've gone to home ed things and said, gone further afield, obviously people in my area know I work for Twinkl, but people say, oh, Twinkl, it's just worksheets. It's not just worksheets, and hopefully that is what we're going to look at, how we can help. So the first thing to say is definitely, if you haven't already, do go and like all our socials. So we're over on YouTube, lots of video content over on YouTube, lots of really great adult-based things to help you, and also lots of videos for your young people as well on lots of different topics. So there's loads of things there, from planning to nature study films to history films to loads and loads of how to make lap books, particular science experiments. So there's loads over on YouTube. So the handle for that is Twinkl Home Educators. So if you're not over on YouTube, do go and check it out. Obviously, we're on Facebook and Instagram. So Instagram I really like because it's a way of, there's lots of shares on there of sharing other people home educating. It's a great way for getting good ideas. Facebook, we have our group. So I would hope that you're all in the group, but if you're not, make sure that you get into, you request to come to the group. So it's Twinkl Home Educators group. And I know Lizzie, who works exceptionally hard in our Facebook group, doesn't do as much as she would like, but we are also over on Pinterest. So I know Lizzie, when she does have some time, when she's not working all really hard with Facebook and the Home Learning Hub, I know she likes Pinterest. So there's another one there that's for you to go and check out. The other thing to say is to make sure you're getting our weekly newsletter. So this comes up loads on our in our group about, oh, I didn't know there was a newsletter. So this is a home ed specific newsletter. So when you sign into Twinkl on your Twinkl account, whether you have a free account, whether you're on a free trial, whether you're a paid member, you go to your details and your contact preferences, and you can set to have your weekly newsletter, which is specific for home educators. And what I really like about this is you can even set the time that you want it to arrive. So I always get mine to arrive later in the day when I know that my kids aren't going to be around and I can read it. But definitely, if you're not already, do go and sign up to our newsletter. The other thing to say is we have a dedicated section of the website. So if you literally go to Twinkl and type in home education, then our dedicated section of our website will come up. And you can also go along the top and you can find the home education section of our website. Now, the first thing to say about that is you'll find on the home ed section of the website, you'll find one of the tags will take you through to some curriculum maps. So one of the questions I was asked is, I've got an older learner, I've got a Key Stage 3 learner, how on earth do I plan for that? Or I'm just starting out and I'm not really sure what I'm supposed to do. Well, the thing about the curriculum maps is if you go and download them, they're for all of the ages. So from year 1 all the way through to Key Stage 3. What they do is you download the year that your young person is in, and for each term and for each subject, it will have a suggested topic. And then you can click on the topic and it will hyperlink straight over to where that topic is on the Twinkl website. So it's really, really great for people who find trying to navigate the website a little bit tricky and not really sure what they're looking for. And if you click on the hyperlink, it will take you to the topic. And you can kind of use it a bit like a shopping list. So you can say, well, actually, I really, really want some help with, my young person's really interested in history, but I really don't know what to do. And so if you look at these curriculum maps, they're really, really useful for that. So this is an example of what a curriculum map would look like. So you can see that it has all of the different terms. This is for year 7. So you've got all of the subjects down the left-hand side, and then you've got all of the units. So if we were, as I said, looking at history, it's got some topics about what is history, and the Tudors, and medicine through time. So you can pick. You don't have to do it if you don't want to in those particular terms, but it gives you an idea of things that you can pick, and then when you've picked them, obviously it will hyperlink. You literally just click on it. So if it was science and cells that you wanted to do in autumn 1, you click on it, it will take you through to everything that you need. And as I said, they're all for Key Stage 1, Key Stage 2 and Key Stage 3. Because obviously when you get to Key Stage 4, it's up, lots of people go down lots of different paths with functional skills and GCSEs and various things. When you click on one of those units of work, it tends to open quite a huge, you often see the unit pack. If you download the unit pack or the unit of work, it often looks like there's an awful lot of stuff there. And the reason that there is a lot of stuff there, but a lot of that stuff is you can just ignore because it's for, some of it's obviously for teachers. So what I always suggest that you do is everything that you need, but you found a nice unit pack, so now what do you do? So if I was doing the gunpowder plot, and I downloaded this massive unit pack, and it's got a folder that says assessment and a folder that says home learning tasks, and all the folders for all the lessons, and then when I click in there, they look really complicated, and I'm not really sure how I go about planning it. Well, you can see at the bottom there is a planning overview. So in all of the units, you'll see a planning overview, and that's what I always suggest you look for first, because then you can see what's in each of the lessons, and you can see whether that's actually what you want to do, whether it is what you thought it was. And it might be that you decide that actually you only want to do the first 3 lessons because the last 3 lessons aren't something that your young person is particularly interested in, or you want to do all of them. But this tells you basically each of the lessons and what those lessons are required for. And then what I would always say is then I would start looking at the PowerPoint. So this is what I always do with my planning, is I don't look at the teacher's lesson plan, I don't look at the assessment folder, I start by looking at the PowerPoint. And from that, I can see kind of roughly where the lesson is going, what the sort of activities are, what's going to fit with us, what maybe I might want to not do, what I could add to it, how I could change it so that it suits a home ed family and my learner. And that's where I always go. So whatever, if I've downloaded a pack on cells for science, or I've done a whole unit pack, and I'm on that first lesson, I always start by looking at the PowerPoint. And then if you want to, obviously you can look at the lesson plan. I tend not to, I've got to be honest, but that's entirely up to you. But what I do when I look at the lesson plan is I always look at the, if it has a task in it. Now, not all of them do, but some of them do. And it has quite practical, hands-on activities, which I find actually fit far better for home educators. So for this one, this is on who was Guy Fawkes. So this is a lesson on who was Guy Fawkes. So one of them is to find out about Jacobean clothing and design an outfit for a Jacobean man and woman. One's to recreate a portrait of Guy Fawkes. Another one is to look at a timeline of kings and queens and mark where James I became king, and so on. And so I actually find if you look for those, if they don't feature on all lesson plans, but a lot of them they do, So I don't look at the rest of the lesson plan, but I definitely do go and look for that. One of the questions I was also sent in was, well, what about if you have a child who would have been going into reception, and you're starting from the very beginning home educating? So reception is classified as part of the early years foundation stage. So preschool and reception is known as EYFS. So the national curriculum doesn't actually start until year 1. And in schools, in reception, it should be play-based, so exactly like preschool. So obviously what I would say is, if you have a reception age child, is carry on what you've been doing up to now with lots of play and lots of opportunity for play. But lots of people feel that they want to start to introduce some sort of structure or some sort of activity, or introduce something that lets their young person sit down for sort of 5 or 10 minutes a day and sort of get used to the idea of maybe doing a more structured activity. And for that, we have these EYFS home learning passports, and they are based on various books that have been written by Twinkl. So there's Twinkl Originals, and there is there are several for each term, and you can download them. So like Autumn 1 has a set of autumn related books, and then there's little sheets and activities that they can do linked to that, and little stickers that you can print out on sticker paper, and then they can sticker when you've read to them, and they can draw, and it's really hands-on and fun. So there's definitely, as I said, EYFS home learning passports that are available if you want to start introducing the concept of something a little more formal to your reception age children. So the other thing to say is, you might be like, well, actually, no, that's far too much for me. I don't want to be that structured. I don't want to have topics for each subject. I just kind of want to go with the flow a bit more and sort of see where things take us, which is absolutely fine. We all do everything completely different, as we said at the beginning. So in that case, what Twinkl has for you is the Home Learning Hub. Now, the Home Learning Hub, you can pick out again along the top, or you can just type in Home Learning Hub. And the Home Learning Hub has basically, you can select activities for the day. So if I went on the Home Learning Hub now, I would be able to select some activities for Thursday, the 4th of September, and it would have various things that I could do with my year 2 child or my year 5 child, or whatever it was that I was looking to do. It has various activities and ideas. And if you're looking for kind of a more of a dip in, dip out when you kind of fancy it idea, then I think the Home Learning Hub is a really, really good option. Lizzie works really hard on it. So each week there is various clubs that are run. So on a Monday there's a lap book club, on a Wednesday there's an art and craft club, and on Thursday there's a building club. The building club is incredibly popular. People share their builds linked to a great task that Lizzie has set. And so that basically allows you a little bit of focus should you want to. And also, as I said, so every day there's like a little like mini topic or a little bit of maths or English, or some study suggestions for Key Stage 3. And it really, really helps you to sort of dip in and out, should you wish, and want something a little bit less structured. Most terms are themed around an idea. So this term, all of those clubs and weekday activities are going to be linked to Adventures of the World. So so each week the Home Learning Hub will be based around one of the continents. And so it's really worth going and checking out the Home Learning Hub. On a Tuesday, There also will be some new features for this year. So there will be the Twinkl Home Ed Bake Off will be featuring on the Home Learning Hub on a Tuesday. On Friday, there will be a Story Explorers club as well. So basically every day of the week is a club to get involved with, some activities to get involved with. So definitely go and check the Home Learning Hub. Yes, the video will definitely be saved to re-watch later. You just follow exactly the same link. So on the subject of live lessons, so another thing you may wish to do is join in on our live lessons. So we often find that home educating can be quite full on. We started live lessons as a way of young people having somebody else to listen to, because I often found when I started home educating my young people, I'd be like, gosh, just want a cup of tea in peace. And so these are great opportunities to learn with your young person, or just to give them an opportunity to learn and for you to grab that cup of tea. So on Mondays we have Pathfinders, which is incredibly popular. It is our live lesson based around nature studies. And then on Wednesdays, we have another really popular World Learners, which is looking at the world around us, and lots of different topics from earthquakes to volcanoes to looking at certain countries. And then on Thursday, we have a really exciting drama-based lesson called The Magic Suitcase. And this term we're looking at a world of celebrations, so lots of celebrations. And so for 3 sessions a week, so Monday, Wednesday and Thursday, you have that hour. They're always at 11 a.m. And so you have that hour for live lessons to do with your children. Lots of people say, well, I've got something on at 11 o'clock on Monday. They are available to watch at any time, so you can watch them on catch up. How you access the Home Learning Hub is you simply just go to the Twinkl website, and it's one of the tabs along the top, or you just type Home Learning Hub into the search box, and then it will come up. And then you drop down, because if you want to see maybe what's coming up tomorrow, because you're planning ahead, you can obviously just drop down the box and it will show you what's coming up over the next week. So that's how you get that. And there is a link in the chat for you to hopefully access that, if that makes it a bit easier. Right, let's go on. So a question we often get asked is, where do I find the live lessons? So they're every day at 11 o'clock. When you go to our Twinkl Home Educators page, if you click on More and Live, then you will find all of the live lessons that are scheduled. Or if you're looking for the lives that are up and coming, if you go to More and Events, then it will show you all of the lives that are up and coming. So that is on our page, not in our group, but clicking the More tab and looking for live and events, you will find all of the live lessons on our Facebook page. And then if you'd like to join in on YouTube, then you just head over to Twinkl Home Educators on YouTube, and you click live in the top, sort of underneath the logo, and that will take you again to all of the live content that we've ever done. And also what is up and coming. Now, if your child and your young person wants to get involved with sharing and writing their ideas down in the chat, which some young people like, then the Facebook platform is definitely the one to use, because the chat is open on Facebook. Some learners and some adults find that's a bit distracting. And so if you don't want comments open, the comment box is not open on YouTube. So if you want a more quieter option, then you can definitely head over to YouTube. And I would say, you know, some people watch them on catch up. Some people pause as they're going along, because they work at a different pace. So you can still pause them even though they're live, and then carry on playing them, or watching them on catch up. And as I said, there's lots of topics that have been done which are pretty cool that you could also go and go back to. Now, the other thing to say is that we have lots of virtual adventures. So it might be that actually you don't want to have lots of subjects on the go, and you don't particularly want to join live lessons. That's absolutely fine. You might want to get really involved in a big project and bring lots of skills and learning there. And we've got lots of topics that you can do that with. So we've got our virtual adventures. So we've got lots of various ones, from the Amazon to Everest. So there's so many, to Japan. There's so many virtual adventures. And these are big packs that you can download. They have the PowerPoints, they have all of the activities you can track, and they make really, really big projects. So that's another thing. If you're looking for a big, meaty project that you just want to get stuck into, then go and check out our virtual adventures, and there's a tab to those on the Home Ed section of the website. Another one, which is one of my favourites, particularly if you've got older learners, is our CSI investigations. So we've got lots of them, from was Tutankhamun's tomb cursed, to is the Loch Ness Monster real, to looking at Stonehenge. There's so many different CSI investigations, and these are great for older learners. You can get all of the evidence out, you can look at all of the different arguments. It's great for interpretation. You can lay it all out on the wall as if you were like a proper crime scene investigator. But our CSI investigations are definitely my favourite resources that we have. And we also have World Explorers and Time Travel Tales, which again are really great project-based things. So World Explorers is looking at various countries in depth, and there's lots of different hands-on activities. Another one which I really, really like is the Time Travel Tales. So in those, again, it's looking at a period in the past, and there's like pictures, and there's various activities that you can do, from cooking to making things. So if you're looking at support with things like geography and history, then definitely go check out the World Explorers and Time Travel Tales. And the other thing to say is that we do lots of other things that you can just dip into. So we do lots of competitions and community-based events. So we have a Week of Wonder coming up this between now and Christmas, which is like a themed week. We obviously have our Bake Off. In the past, we've run competitions like making a page of nature. We often do lots of seasonal fun. So the languages department came and did the languages section of Twinkl came and did a special Day of the Dead live for us. We sometimes have Christmas things going on and various other activities. So it's also worth keeping an eye on those emails and the website in order to work out some of those coming. And if you are an Ultimate member, the other thing to bear in mind is that you can also sign up to Book Club, where you get a book through every half term. You have to choose your preferred book each time, because there's lots of different ages, so you can switch around and decide which book you fancy. But if you're an Ultimate member and you aren't aware of it, then definitely do join the Twinkl Book Club. And also there is a Twinkl Originals app, which has also a lot of the books on them if you prefer reading digitally. So I suppose the last little bit is if you want something a bit more relaxed. We have an amazing resource called the 100 Home Ed Adventures, where you can tick off 100 home ed adventures. There's loads of lap books, templates, which are one of our most popular types of resources. I've just done over the holiday, summer holiday period, one on bees with my daughter. So lap books are really, really great. If you don't know what a lap book is, head over to our YouTube channel. We've got a great video on what lap books are. And also, just to say, we have some absolutely beautiful resources with Disney's Frozen and Disney's The Lion King as a theme. So you can make your learning even cooler with activities inspired by Frozen and The Lion King. And there's lots more coming soon. So if you head over to the website, you can see there's a little icon that says Disney, and you'll see there's some blanked out icons. So this one, I think, but I'm not sure, but I think might be Moana, because I think that might be Maui's Hook, but I might be wrong. But there are lots and lots of grayed out thumbnails, because we have got so many other resources coming out over the next few months with some of your favourite Disney characters in them. But do go and check out the Lion King ones in particular, are absolutely stunning. And my young learners, so popular. If you're just looking for a rainy day activity, they're beautiful. And of course, there's always an excuse then to watch a film whilst you're doing some of the learning activities. Now, if you're not a paid member and you're looking for some sort of idea about why you should be, or you just want some more ideas, then we have lots of taster packs on the website, from game schooling to being child-led to using nature studies. So again, if you're inspired by maybe nature studies, you can go and check out those packs as well. So that's kind of a whistle-stop tour of starting out with Twinkl. There is so much more that can be, we could go into, from AI to all the apps that Twinkl have, but it's always best, I think, to just start with the basics so that you're not bombarded. But are there any specific questions? So I saw a couple of questions of, will I be able to watch this later? Absolutely, you will. I saw another question come up about what sort of subscription do you need to access all the resources. So if you want access to everything, then you do need Ultimate. If you go to the Twinkl website and you click on the packages, it will tell you what each, whether you've got basic, the middle one's escaped my thoughts, so an ultimate, core, someone help me out, what's the middle one, and then there's ultimate, but it will tell you what you get with each one. So for example, one of the reasons, our favourite things in our house is that Twinkl have a talk to your favourite historical character, and that is part of our AI, our ARI, and I know that you can only access that with Ultimate, but there are lots of different things you can get on Basic, on Core rather. I don't know, I keep calling it Basic, on Core, and Extra, that's it, thank you very much. So Core is the basic package, then Extra, and then Ultimate. Now, I've always gone for Ultimate because I like being part of book club, and as I said, I really like the AI tools, and I just like to know that I've got everything. But as I said, if you sort of want to start off with Core, then if you look on the Twinkl website, it will tell you. It's really easy. It's a nice form. I would show you. I had it all loaded up, but of course, because I've had to restart my computer, it would have signed me out. But it will tell you what you've got for each of those. Are there any other questions? There we go. There's a tag. If you're over on YouTube, there's a tag for all the packages. Are there any other questions? Right, well, I don't think there are. Just to say, if you're not already a member and you want to try out Twinkl, then you can have a trial of Twinkl. You'll find information about the trial on the Twinkl website. I was just going to finish with, you can watch the station anytime by using the same link. And just some testimonials from other people about how Twinkl's a lifesaver and how there's so many resources and projects and various things that you can do. So hopefully that's helpful. What I would say is if you find that you sort of leave and then think, oh, I wanted to ask that question and I forgot, then we're always over on our Twinkl Home Educators Facebook group. So if you just drop a question there, then you'll get lots of help from not only us, but our community as well. So what are the best reading lessons? So if you go, if you follow the link on the Facebook, on the Twinkl website, if you follow the link to, if I go back here, right to the beginning. If you follow the link to these curriculum maps, you will find that they have reading as one of the subjects, and it will have here, so this is for year 7, but it's using Skellig and Moonfleet and Around the World and A Midsummer Night's Dream and so on. So if you're looking for reading schemes and reading plans and reading topics, then I would definitely go to the curriculum plan because that will then tag you off to whatever book project that you fancy doing. So thank you ever so much for joining us. I hope that that's been helpful. As I said, do head over to our Facebook group and do post any other questions because we're here to help and support you as best you can and your young person in your home ed journey. And remember, to give yourself a break sometimes. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves as home educators that everything has to be just so. But you're all doing a fantastic job. Yeah, best of luck for our new year and happy not back to school week. I'll see you soon.